All right, guys. Happy Monday. Give everybody a real quick chance to turn on their cameras for me. Last week you started a like a chart where you added the prefixes un and re. So go find that chart. Maybe it's in your journal, it's on a piece of paper. I said to keep, that's a piece of paper that you need to keep up with so that you can add to it. And we are going to add these prefixes in, im, ear, and ill. Yes, Kaylin. Okay. So go ahead and add in, im, ear, and ill, and they can all go into this in the same column because they have the same meaning. All right, Kaylin, you had your hand raised. Okay, you started a chart last week when we were talking about prefixes. So if you don't have that, then go, this is the chart. Then you need to write this whole thing down. So the meaning of the prefixes in, im, ear, and ill is not, or, the opposite of, or the lack of. Okay, so for example, illegal. Okay, illegal. Il means not, and then the root word, the base word is legal. So illegal means not legal, or the opposite of legal. The word irresponsible means not responsible, or the opposite of responsible. So I'll give you a few minutes to write the chart down. You should be writing this chart down. Reading. Okay. Remember that we know that prefixes go at the beginning of a root word, and in order for a word to be a prefix, let's see, how do they say it? Okay, so if there is a prefix in a word, or if you think the word has a prefix and you like cover up the prefix or you take that prefix out of the word, and the word that is left has to be a real word. So for example, the word iron. Okay, it looks like there is a prefix in the word. Okay, so what's the prefix? IR. So if I ignored IR and I'm left with the word on, well, yes, on is a word, but do iron and on mean the same thing? No. Iron and on do not mean the same thing. You can iron on something, but the word iron does not mean the same thing as the word on. All right, what about the word illustrate? What is the prefix that we think is a prefix in this word? Ill, yeah. IL. So if we got rid of that word, that prefix IL, we're left with the word less straight. Is less straight a word? No. So illustrate does not contain a prefix. Okay, so IL is not a prefix in this word. All right, what about sorry, that word, illogical? What is the maybe prefix in this word? IL, ill. All right, so let's delete that. And we're left with the word logical. Is that a word, logical? Yes, logical is a word. So IL in illogical is a prefix because when you get rid of it, you are left with a word that does have a meaning. Logical has a meaning to it. Okay. All right. This week's reading is pretty fun and super easy, so that makes it more fun. So this week we're talking about technical text, scientific text, and historical text. Okay. So yes. Well, good deal. You'll be ahead. All right. So okay, let's hold off on the comments for just a little bit for me, okay? If you have a question, you can type it in the chat box. All right, a technical text is a text that explains how to do something. It may explain procedures. What does that mean when it says it may explain procedures? What is a procedure? The order of something. Yeah, that's good. So like I think of a technical text as a car manual. So when you buy a car, you have a car manual that comes with it that has the information like what all these different things mean in your car, how to do all these different things with your car, how to raise the seat up, how to scoot the seat back, how to raise the trunk, what the different buttons mean. Okay, so that's how I think of a technical text is it's very informational. It gives you explanations of how to do things. All right, so that's technical. A scientific text is a text that provides information about a topic. It may explain causes or reasons something occurred. So for this example has tsunamis, which is like a giant wave kind of coming in from the oceans, what a tsunami is. So a scientific text will explain about tsunamis, information about tsunamis. Okay. Scientific text. Think of what does the word scientific remind you of? Jenna? Yeah, science. So when you think of a scientific text, I want you to think, okay, is this talking about a topic in science? Is it kind of like a scientific thing? Okay, and explain why something happened. Science is all about explaining things. And historical text. What does historical remind you of? Yeah, history. So it's kind of like a text about history, a text that describes the true events of an incident that once took place. So something that happened in history. If the text is talking about something that happened in history, it's going to be historical text. That easy. Okay. Let's read. See if I can zoom in. That didn't work. All right. All right, so let's read this story about Jesse Owens, and we're going to answer the questions and determine if it's a scientific, historical, or technical text. All right. James Cleveland Owens, one of the best remembered Olympic athletes of all time, was born in Alabama in 1913. When JC, his nickname, was 9 years old, his family moved to Ohio. When he went to his new school, his new teacher asked him what his name was. When JC answered, his teacher misunderstood him and wrote Jesse on the record book. The new nickname stuck, and he was known as Jesse Owens for the rest of his life. When Jesse was in high school, he set the world record in the 100-yard dash with a time of 9.4 seconds. He quickly became a star when he started his college track career at Ohio State. At that time, racial segregation was still enforced. Jesse had to live in an all-black dorm that wasn't on school's campus. On one spring day in 1935, Jesse had a track meet, but he had recently tumbled down a flight of stairs. His back was sore and he wasn't sure if he would be able to run. He convinced his coach to let him run the 100-yard dash as a test for his back. He somehow managed to tie his world record of 9.4 seconds. Within the next 45 minutes, he competed in 3 other events and set a world record in each. The 1936 Olympics was set to take place in Berlin, Germany. At that time, Adolf Hitler was the Nazi leader of Germany. He believed that the Aryan race, was better than all other races. At first, he said that Jews and black people would not be allowed to compete in the Olympics. When other countries heard this news, they threatened to protest by not sending their athletes to the games. This caused Hitler to say that all athletes could compete. Hitler was still hoping to prove to the world that his race was the best and all other races of people were beneath them. Jesse Owens destroyed Hitler's claims, though, by winning 4 gold medals at the Games. Jesse proved to the world that race doesn't matter in the world of sports and made many people wonder why it mattered at all. Okay, so Now we got to figure out if this text is historical, a technical, or scientific. Okay, let's go back and let's refresh. A technical text explains how to do something and it explains the steps. Is that what the Jesse Owens text was about? Did it explain how to do something? Lots of heads saying no, so I'm assuming that's a no. All right, I agree. It's a no. That text did not explain how to do something or the steps to do something. All right, next, scientific. A text that provides information about a topic. It may explain causes or reasons something occurred. Okay, did the text about Jesse Owens provide information about a topic? Okay, I see yeses and nos. If you say yes, what is the topic of that text? Yeah, Jesse Owens was the topic of that text. Did the text give us information about Jesse Owens? Yeah, it talked about his going to school, it talked about his name. Okay. All right. Did it explain the cause or reason that something happened? Kind of. Okay, let's go to historical and see if that one fits better. Historical, a text that describes the true events of an incident that once took place. Okay, so did the Jesse Owens text describe true events? Was it all true? Yes, all of that was a true text. Okay, so yes, it is a historical text. Okay, so the difference between scientific and historical, because it can get confusing. Scientific, I think about um like obviously tsunamis, but like information about a topic. So an animal or why the earthquake happened or why a hurricane is happening. Something that um happen and explaining why it happened. Okay. So the Jesse Owens text didn't really explain why Jesse Owens happened. Okay. It was more of explaining the true events of something that once took place, of him going to the Olympics and him growing up. Okay. And name a key event in Jesse Owens' life that caused him to be regarded as a hero throughout the world. Explain why it was such an important event. All right, what was one of the events in his life that showed or proved that he was a hero throughout the world? What was something that happened or he did? It said Jesse Owens destroyed Hitler's claims, though, by winning 4 gold medals at the Games. So remember, Hitler was a leader in Germany, and Hitler was the person who had a lot of he had a lot of hate. He had a lot of hate for everybody who was not like him. So if you did not look like him, he wanted you gone. Okay. So Hitler was a bad guy, and Jesse Owens did not look like Hitler. So Hitler didn't like Jesse Owens because of the color of his skin. And Jesse Owens did not let that stop him. He proved Hitler wrong by winning 4 gold medals. Okay, what are y'all saying that you haven't finished? Get finished writing everything on the first prefix. Okay, if you that's fine. I'll flip back to it. All right. We will read another type of text tomorrow. Oops. If you did not get to finish writing down the prefix chart, and you need to keep up with that chart needs to be in a binder or in a folder somewhere where you can keep up with it. Nina, yes, I agree. Jesse Owens helped lead people to think like race doesn't matter. All right. All right, if you have not finished writing down the prefix chart, you can continue writing. If you are done, you may type in the chat box your name, and I will see you back at 10 o'clock for math. No, Nina, I cannot hear you.